Hey guys, how's it going? It's Eamon here, and today I have a very interesting video for you. This is something completely new, never done before on this channel, and I hope that you guys like it. Today I'm going to be interviewing Anthony Rebello. I'm sure that all of you have heard of him, but in case you haven't, he's the author of the blog Smile Me a River, and he's also found on Facebook at Bird Butter. Now, he recently used his Facebook to create a heterosexual pride parade in his hometown of Seattle, Washington, and this created a whirlwind of controversy online, sparking many people, thousands even, to go onto his social media and to harass him and even send him death threats. Now, I wanted to see, was this man following the trend of the 1990s to use straight pride parades as a way to mock and shame LGBT members back into the closet? Or is he just a guy with a sense of humor that's been misunderstood? I hope that you enjoy this interview, and I encourage all of you to keep an open mind. Just to forewarn you, this video is a little visually boring unless you love looking at my beautiful face. So feel free to listen to the audio while you go about your day doing chores, cleaning the house, or whatever. Enjoy. First, I just wanted to start out by making sure that I have the timeline correct. You first started the Heterosexual Pride Parade in 2015, is that right?
That's correct.
You were the sole creator of it, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what gave you the idea to create this event for a heterosexual pride parade?
Well, I saw all the different groups that were celebrating, the sexuality, the nationalities, whatnot, and decided that I wanted to join in and be proud of myself as well, just as proud as everyone else was being.
Okay. And do you think that straight people need a parade?
I think, a parade isn't bad for anybody, any kind of person. Nobody needs a parade, I guess, but I think that they're fun. It's a positive thing. So, do I think straight people need a parade? Just about as much as anyone else does, I guess.
Okay. And many people believe that this comes from a place of bigotry, or that you're mocking the LGBT community. Is that true?
That's not true at all. I'm actually friends with many, gay people, lesbians, even transgenders. And, I lived right downtown Seattle, and I worked downtown Seattle, and so, I never had any problems with anybody. I get along with everyone. I'm not out looking for trouble.
Okay. So I'm sure that you must realize that there are a lot of heterosexuals who are against the LGBT community, and those people could be using this as a way to laugh at gay people or the LGBT community. How does that make you feel?
I think that, no matter what anyone does, it can be taken for good or for bad. You can have a guy handing out cupcakes, and, you'd have one group of people saying, hey, that's awesome, free cupcakes. And then you have another group of people going, hey, why is he giving away cupcakes? What's in those cupcakes?
Is it true that you were the only person to show up to the parade this year, other than your girlfriend who was there taking photos?
No, that's not true. There was other people there, but we weren't running around taking pictures of everything. We were just enjoying our day. It wasn't really anything that we were running around trying to put in anyone's face. We were just celebrating the day.
Okay. And on Facebook, you wrote, if you don't like the fact that we are having a parade to celebrate our beliefs, feel free to show up and protest. Now, from what I've seen of the pictures, no one did. But gay pride parades are heavily picketed with protesters that hold signs that say things like fags burn in hell. What does that say to you about how America views and treats straight people versus the LGBT community?
I I think people in general, whether they're straight or not, treat each other like shit. You know, I think people can treat each other a lot better. And as far as the LGBT and the gay community and whatnot, I have nothing to do with any kind of, you know, oppression or, you know, I have nothing to do with hurting. I've never hurt a gay person in my life.
Also, in your original blog post for the idea, you wrote, "We all have the right to celebrate the way of life we have chosen for ourselves," and that keyword chosen. However, you have also created memes that say, "I didn't choose to be straight." Do you think sexuality or being LGBT is a choice?
Did I choose to be straight? No, I didn't. But anyone can disagree with that. I mean, there are people, we're all individuals. And it doesn't matter what our gender, sexual preferences, or nationality. We are all individuals. No two people think exactly alike. As far as choosing to be straight or choosing to be gay or whatever, I can't say for sure that it's a choice or not. I mean, I guess that all lies in the individual who's being asked the question. If someone says they did choose to be straight, you know, that's them as an individual saying that. I can't jump into other people's bodies and speak for them. I've only got one, so I can only speak for myself. And as far as choosing to be straight goes or not, I don't think I chose it. I think it's just something that it's just the way I feel. It's the way I've always felt. Yeah, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate, you know, other people who say they've chosen to be transsexual or bisexual or gay. If they say that they didn't choose, then that's okay. And if they say they did choose, I'm okay with that too, you know?
Also, I wanted to ask, in your blog post called Marriage, you wrote, "You don't need a third party or a piece of paper to have a good relationship with someone. You don't need anyone's permission or approval. If you make each other happy, that's what matters. It is between you and the person you are involved with, not you and society," which is very idealistic, but the reality is that for many years, LGBT people weren't choosing not to get married, they were being denied the choice. Do you think that was discriminatory or wrong?
Yeah, I think it's wrong. I mean, I've never personally discriminated against anyone not getting married.
Also, you wrote in another blog post where you give your opinion on gay marriage. You say, "I think it's a trend, a cry for attention. From your government, a distraction for money." Now, I personally agree that our government used gay marriage to distract the American people from bigger issues. However, do you think that the answer is for the LGBT community to accept being discriminated against? Or wouldn't it be better for our government to give all citizens equal rights and stop using minorities as a scapegoat?
Well, I do think it's a distraction. And as far as trending goes, trends come and go. And there's going to be, you know, there's going to be many more trends that come and go. And that's what they do. They keep shoving it in people's faces. And I'm not speaking about the LGBT. I'm talking about the people who run the media. They control what's being put in front of most people's faces. And basically what it comes down to is a lot of people aren't accepting the fact that every one of us are individuals and everybody has their own opinion. So, I mean, if more people accepted that we're all different, that we all think differently, then we might get along better. But look at our track record. You know, I'm not too impressed with humanity. I mean, I'm sorry to say there are a few people who have inspired me, but for the most part, I'm not really seeing evolution as humanity. You know, the evolution of humanity. It looks like it's on pause to me. I think we should be doing a lot better as a whole. You know, and I'm hopeful that we will.
In that same blog post, you go on to say, maybe animals should be allowed to get married. Would they govern and tax them too? While they're at it, how about equal rights for insects? And I want to ask, why would you downplay the importance of human rights by likening gay people to animals and insects?
Well, I think that might have been confused a little bit. And, I wasn't really actually comparing people to insects. It was a strange analogy, I guess. Basically, I think that things have become so complicated, and that's what I was basically trying to say, was that does it have to be so complicated? Maybe I should have worded it different, but that's what I was basically trying to say. Do things have to be so complicated for people to be happy? I mean, do you really need someone else's reassurance? I mean, how much does your government really do for you? Are they going to show up, if you're dying of cancer in the hospital to help you? Are they going to show up at your funeral even? You're not going to be eating dinner with any of these political people that we don't know that seem to be in charge, but I just like to keep it a little bit more simple. And with my words when I'm talking on that, I'm not trying to compare any gay people or gay marriage to insects. I was being sarcastic as far as equal rights go. Equal rights belong to everybody.
You've also written, even after all of this, I'm still proud to be straight. This year's parade is going to be better than ever. Now, when gay people say that they're proud to be, LGBTQI, what they're really saying is that they're proud that they have the inner strength to be honest with themselves and the world about who they really are, even when facing bigotry. And you neither chose to be straight nor struggle with or because of it. So what makes you proud?
I guess what makes me proud is my own opinion. I'm able to think clearly and honestly express myself as a human being, which is I'm not part of any group, really. I'm not. I mean, you could say I'm heterosexual or whatever, but I mean, I don't really throw myself into a category or a group. I've always gotten along with all different kinds of people. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, and my sense of humor and my sarcasm, I think, was misunderstood by a lot of people through this, because if you look into what I do and what I have been doing, I think it'll be pretty clear to you that it's not my goal to hurt anybody at all, especially the LGBT. I don't appreciate the way they treated me. I'll be honest with that. I mean, if I really was a bigot or racist or whatnot, after the way I was attacked through the media and on Facebook and whatnot, I think that at this point I would hate gay people, but I don't. I'm not bitter. I know that everybody's different, and for every angry gay person, there is a happy gay person. And for every angry heterosexual, there's a happy heterosexual. And so I look for the better of the two, if you know what I mean. And I'm not trying to separate people. I think that all this division and putting everyone in different groups and categories is really tearing us apart as a whole. It makes it hard for people to interact and engage. And I hope that future generations are able to do it better than us, because, like I said, I feel like we're on pause. I think that some progress needs to be made if we're going to actually act like we're evolving.
On Facebook, you mentioned, I would like to address the way I was and continue to be treated for being proud to be straight. Read the comments and you will see for yourself all the hate and misrepresentation I've had to deal with over the past year. It has not been easy. I have suffered greatly because of all of this. All the insults, hate, discrimination, threats, it's not been easy for me. I have even been fired from my job. And I would like to point out that these are the struggles that every LGBTQI person faces at least once in their life, if not on a daily basis. And I just want to know, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, that's neat. I got a taste of it, I guess, But how does it make me feel? It's a bummer. It sucks, when people attack you for no reason, for being yourself, And I can speak in person when I'm with, some of my gay friends. We're able to open our sense of humor up so much that we can have fun with it. You know, we don't sit there and get so defensive that we can't laugh at each other, that we can't be different, and it's okay. You know, we are different, and it is okay. And so for all those people out there who are attacking people that they don't know because of their own personal problems, like I said, it kind of makes them a coward. You know, if you're going to deal with something, you're going to have to do it inside yourself first. And if you're comfortable with the way you feel, you're really not going to have to argue with. You're not going to have to argue with anybody.
So of course I am transgender, and so this is basically a transgender channel, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the subject. And I did find 2 blog posts that you wrote about trans people. The first was called Laffy Taffy, and it's obviously not a true story, but it starts, walked into a Target this morning to pick up a few items. I had to use the bathroom, and I noticed the sign on the door had changed, but I didn't pay attention. I entered the stall where I sat down to have my way with the toilet and noticed a woman dressed like a man creeping over the stall to peek at me. "Do you mind?" I asked. Him, her. You then walk out of the stall and find that the bathroom has turned into a circus. And the next one is called Shit Show, and this one does seem to be based on a real event. You write, "Saw a man dressed as a woman pumping gas in front of us at the gas station. Blonde wig, pink blouse, nails did, lipstick. Guy was like 60. He smiled at me, and I couldn't help but notice that he had no teeth. Awkward. But he could tell by the look on my face that I didn't want to talk to him. In my mind, I was thinking, what the fuck happened to this guy? Did he get into a fight with society and lose?" You then describe what you call a real woman who is begging for gas at the station, and end by saying, "I wondered to myself which would be worse, being a man who thought he was a woman, or being a woman with my 5-year-old daughter watching me beg for gas." And as a trans man, stories like these hurt because they spread negative stereotypes about trans people, that we're creeps and perverts, that we're akin to freaks in a circus, that our genders aren't real, that we are crazy or repulsive, or that we just ought to be pitied. Did you realize that was how you were portraying the trans community, and that your words might reinforce those negative stereotypes in the minds of others?
Well, I think you might be confusing me portraying any community as whatever someone else sees it as, for me having, you know, my own opinion and being creative in the way I write. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but unfortunately, you know, I do sometimes. I don't mean to, but at least I'm being honest. I'm sorry if it seems to portray, you know, transgenders in a bad way, but at the same time, it's my opinion, you know, and I've made it clear in this interview that I'm not against anybody in particular. But sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I have my coffee and I start writing, I don't even know what's going to come out. You know, I'm not trying. Basically, it's a form of medication for me to be able to sit down with a pad and a paper and write out my feelings. And sometimes I think it's pretty funny and it's colorful. I paint a picture, and unfortunately, some of those pictures aren't appreciated, and that's okay. But like I said, for me, it's a creative outlet. I mean, if I didn't have my creative outlets, I'd go completely crazy. So I'm sorry if that hurt anyone's feelings. That's not my intent.
In your post on Facebook and in your blog, you constantly mention wanting to make people happy. For instance, you've written, "Whether people are gay or not does not concern me. Whether people are happy or not does. And I am doing what I can to make a difference while I am alive on this planet." But having this parade has made thousands of people incredibly unhappy. So why do you continue to do it?
I'm defending myself as an individual, defending my own opinion, and And I've made it clear I've never hurt anybody. I've never protested anybody. That's not what I'm doing here. Why do I continue to do it? Because, like I said, there's been thousands and thousands of people who think that I'm a bigot, who think I'm racist, who think that I'm this terrible guy who hates gay people. Like I'm part of what happened in Orlando. They don't know me at all, and so a lot of it's out of defense, and I want to confront the people who are in the media. I want to confront them in person. I don't want to hurt them. I just want to tell my side of the story and have the opportunity to explain myself rather than having to defend myself, if you understand what I'm saying.
That the interview's over, I do want to interject my opinion a little bit. I personally think that we can do with all of the parades and all of the celebrations and all of the happiness that we can possibly afford. I agree that people are not as happy as they should be. I agree that they find conflict with each other all too often and all too easily. And I do think that we separate and segregate each other too much, and that does lead to these problems, and it does exacerbate them when they happen. And so, I think that if we had straight parades where gay people went as allies, and as well as gay parades where straight people go as allies, and if we can all just celebrate each other and have a good time doing it, and like you said, have a laugh doing it, all the better, because it's just, we need more happiness.
Definitely, and I think that I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part to leave a good example behind, and I don't know if you've looked into everything that I've done, but I hope that you do, because you'll see for yourself that I'm actually encouraging people to be themselves. I'm encouraging people to be happy. I'm encouraging people to be honest. I'm trying to do my part to make, my mark on evolution for humanity, because, like I said, at this point, I'm not really impressed with what we've been doing. I feel like we're going in the wrong direction, and I think a lot more people need to change how they think so they can change how they act, and that will become examples for the children that are to come into the world.
Okay, guys, well, that concludes the interview. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, subscribe, and definitely comment below. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that he was wrong in what he did? Do you think that whether or not he was wrong, he actually deserved all of the criticism that he got? I encourage you all to keep an open mind, because we as the LGBTQI+ community want people to respect our opinions even if they disagree with them. So I encourage you to try to keep that in mind and respect other people's opinions as well. Even if they're wrong, at least they're expressing them in a way that allows us to go back and criticize them and say, we think this is wrong because. But that doesn't necessarily give us the right to start a barrage of social media attacks on these people that ultimately end up losing them their job. I don't really personally think that that's fair. I think that if we disagree, we ought to have actual legitimate reasons for disagreeing, and we ought to be able to convey those ideas without denigrating into name-calling and insults. Ultimately, no one wants to listen to insults, and no one will. It's not really the way to bring about proper change. If we want to change the ideas and opinions of those that we disagree with, we need to be more eloquent with our words in order to get our points across. And if you're going to attack someone's point of view, it's best to actually know what their point of view is, not to just think that you know it based on what you've read or heard from somebody else. Go to the source and find out, which is exactly why I did this interview. And ultimately, after having done so, I don't believe that Rebello is working towards any grander scheme to try to oppress the LGBTQAI plus whatever community. He's not trying to mock or insult anyone. He's just a guy with a sense of humor that was taken out of context. Sure, you may not think it was funny, but really, we could all use laughs in this world, and just because your humor isn't the same as another's doesn't mean that they're a bad person. After concluding the interview, I actually told him I think that we should have as many parades as possible. I mean, parades are pretty awesome, right? It's just an excuse to go out, have fun, have a few laughs and smiles, and meet other people. And it's something that makes us all happy. So why not have as many of them as possible? Forget what they're all about and what they mean. Most parades don't really mean anything at all. It's just good old-fashioned fun. And I don't really think it hurts anybody. Alright, well, definitely make sure to check out the description box below. I'll have links to all of Anthony's social media. That's it. Peace out. Have a good day.